Our first step is to get the tube out of the box and then straighten it out so we can hang it up on the walls. I thought I could unroll and straighten the whole spool of pipe, but that is never gonna happen. I think the only way I can do it is to cut it to length and then try to straighten it out. So I want the first drop to be right here between these two blast cabinets, but to do that, I need to remove the shelf that the previous owner installed. This stuff definitely does not want to straighten or stay straight. I think I just hit my first roadblock. These are the clips that you use to hang the tubing on the wall, and they have a counterbore here down at the bottom to put a screw into. But none of the screws I have will go into that counterbore. The head on all of them is too wide. So I'm gonna have to go to the hardware store tomorrow and pick up some screws with some sort of small head that'll fit through here. Day 2, I have screws, I have a bag of pneumatic fittings. Man, I suck at measuring. Now it's supposed to land right between those two blast cabinets. The second drop is gonna be right here, just right outside the jail cell. And this is gonna be for my spray booth, which obviously doesn't exist yet, but will at some point. And I've been looking at it, trying to decide where I wanna put the manifold. And as strange as it is, I think I wanna put it right here in the middle of this wall, even though that'll take a lot more effort. Because the outlet, the exhaust of the spray booth is gonna go out that window there. And I don't think I want the hose on the spray gun in front of me. I think I want it wrapping around behind me so it doesn't get in the way of my work as I'm spraying. Putting it over here on this wall will solve that problem, though it makes tubing it much more complicated. I am truly a terrible pipe fitter. I have some good news and I have some bad news. Good news, the hard part is pretty much done. Getting those 2 drops in, that's the only place in the shop where there's gonna be 2 drops in such close proximity. The rest, there's gonna be a long run here going all the way around. I'm gonna put a drop in here. I don't really have a specific purpose for it. It's just if I need to run an air tool or whatever on the workbench or if something in the future goes here. I'm then gonna put a drop in right here by the garage door for airing up tires or again, running air tools for a car if needed. I'll then have to run across the roof of the garage here somehow without interfering with the garage door. That might actually be a little bit tricky. But the bad news is I don't have enough fittings. I thought that these airline kits came with 3 T's, but they only come with 2 T's. So to get all those drops in, I'm gonna need 2 or 3 more of them. I think I have the bridge across the garage door done. I was able to find a path that I think is safe, and we have a problem. I did another test of the garage door to make sure I hadn't screwed anything up. Turns out I screwed something up. That pipe is jammed between the garage door and that top rail there. I'll need to check it as I keep going, but that seems to have fixed it. So this Rapid Air stuff is pretty easy to hook up. They give you these cutters for cutting it, and they do a pretty good job, though I found that they have a tendency to kind of wander in the cut, not giving you a perfectly square end, though that one wasn't that bad. After cutting it, you take your fitting apart. 2 parts will come off, a nut and a collar. Then you can put the fittings on your pipe, and you want to do the nut and then the collar. Then you take your flaring tool that they provide you, squish it on really hard, and give it some turns. And there's actually some little cutting blades down in the end. And it both flares the tube and gives it a nice chamfer so that it's easy to fit in the fittings. It'll also help square up your ends if your cut wasn't perfect. Then you can take your fitting and being careful not to knock those O-rings out of place. You just press this in all the way down until it bottoms out, and then tighten on your fitting. Now I found that this is much easier to do on the ground than it is in the air. but it is pretty quick and easy. And of course, you would take a wrench to tighten that down all the way. Day 3. I could start putting together the drops, but I'm still waiting on a bunch of fittings to come in, so I think I'm gonna call it here, and we'll make this a 2-part video. Thank you guys, I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.